I'd like to call the meeting of the Madison County Fiscal Court to order. Kenny?
Master King.
Here.
Master Barger.
Here.
Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Combs.
Here.
Judge Clark.
Here. You all have had a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting. If there are no changes, a motion will be in order to approve those as submitted in your packets.
So moved. Second.
Master King.
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Treasurer's report. Glenna's here this morning.
I passed out several things this morning. The first is the report. The fund balance as of May the 31st, 2013, total fund balance is $6,182,460.62. The fund balance as of today is $5,454,141.98. We're almost to the end of the year. We have a few more deposits that'll be coming in, but this will be our last expenditures. Our general fund revenues for the year set at 91.6%, and our expenditures are at 67.3%. Our road fund revenues are at 96.2%. Our expenditures are at 89.9%. Our jail fund revenues are at 101.3%, and our expenditures are at 99.7%. CSEP revenues are 37.2%, expenditures are at 34.5%. And the 911 fund revenues are at 67.9%, and the expenditures are at 65.9%.
Any questions for Glenna?
Me and all the departments trying to stay within the boundaries of the finance, so appreciate the report.
This
Another
says
balanced budget with a positive cash flow in each account.
Yes.
excess fees for clerk. That's the 25%.
Yes.
Yes. No questions. Thanks, Glenna. Okay. All right, we're going into second reading of our 13-14 budget. Before we get started, there are a few notes requested by Department of Local Government after they looked at first reading. They've asked us to lower truck license distribution from $200,000 to $189,642. We raised that up because we were well over, and I think they know more than we do. Other changes is we moved $16,475 from E911 dispatchers to E911 reserve for transfer, $7,000 from the general reserve for transfer to the Berea Fire Department, and $150,000 from the road reserve for transfer to road asphalt. Those are the only changes that have been made, other than Greg had requested an increase in the line item in the cemetery, and we did that. And I think that's the only thing that anybody requested. Whatever anybody requested, we did. So y'all have copies. We've been over this and over this. It's just it's an excellent budget. $43,574,000. As always, we always come out. We keep our expenditures low, and we're usually right on target with our income. And I'd open the floor up first to the court. Any comments about the budget, Greg?
Well, just looking over a lot of it and seeing that, as we live within our means and trying to do the best for the public as we can. And I'm glad we're not as making a savings account out of taxpayers' money, but it's going to good use in all the areas of all the departments. So as the budget looks, and we're glad we ain't had to have no talk of any increase, but it's all run with constraints, and just appreciate all the faculty and all the people that has a part to do with the budget.
Thanks, Greg. Roger?
I don't really have any problems with the budget. Just concerns about what money we put back and what we got laid back for the rainy day fund. We need to keep adding to that, I think, because it's not going to get any better. It's going to get a little tighter, but everything looked pretty good, Judge.
We're working on that as we speak, and we'll have some numbers hopefully by the end of this year,
Okay.
and be a little closer and have a little of that extra money we were talking about that we can put into investments. Bill Ray?
I'm comfortable with it.
Larry?
Well, I got a question on did they send you a figure on the truck taxes to lower them?
What we do
Once they
is,
start breaking that out.
Talking about the truck license distribution, it's set every year, and the only reason we had raised it up is they give you a balance at the end of the fiscal year. They have it set all the way across for every county, and they can tell you what that is. But then at the end of the year, sometimes there's a balance left over and they give you more. I went ahead and raised up the line item because for the last 3 years, we went over because we always get an extra amount. But they said they would rather us not do that. They would rather us budget amended in at the end of the year and keep it the exact amount that they give us. But it's set by the state.
but it's come in, we look back at 3 years on everything, and last 3 years it's come in over what they.
These are
asked us to budget.
portioned trucks. Is that what you're talking about, that's coming straight from Frankfurt?
Now, I don't know exactly where they come from.
Okay, this is,
It's a one-time check, once a year.
this is truck licensing that's handled at the state level.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's coming back to the county.
Yes.
Okay, that's how it's broken out. It's not moving through our office in the first place.
That's all.
Okay, anything else, Larry?
No.
Okay, any comments from the audience? If not, motion would be in order to approve our 13-14 Madison County budget.
So move.
Second?
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. And it's like to say, and I have to brag on the fiscal court and the department heads, Glenn and her staff, the employees, the other elected officials. Everybody works together to make this happen. You know, we've never had to lay anybody off. We've never had to cut services to any individual. Matter of fact, we're trying to increase services with the new recycling truck, the new dead animal truck, just things like that. We're continuing to build on, and we're still not raising taxes, and we're, like Greg said, we're spending within our means, and financially, we're in very good shape. So I want to thank you all for that. Next is CSEP, and this is award of portable generator bids. You all have those in your packets. As always, Carl's broken down and rated them.
We got 3 bids on the portable generators, Evapar, Nixon Power, and Wayne Supply. We gave them a range of kilowatt generator to provide because we don't want to limit it to one manufacturer or the other. So they all quoted a little different size generator, but the smallest one is still within spec from Wayne Supply, and that is what we were looking for. That's the size generator we wanted. You can see that all of our bid spec qualifications were met. We have a 5-year warranty and maintenance on this particular generator, and we'd like to award it to Wayne Supply. They were the low bid in this instance at $42,521. And we've worked with Wayne on 2 other generator projects, and they're good corporation to work with, and they deliver what they promise. So we had a generator guy locally here look at their specs and help us make the specs that we bid on, and then he verified their bid, met all the specs, and that the equipment they're providing is top-notch equipment. So any questions on that particular one? It's the one sheeter that looks like this, since we got 2 bid things today. But be more than happy to answer any questions. You know, that, like I said, you look at, they were $42,521 compared to the high bid of $56,171, so.
Okay, no questions upon Carl and his staff's recommendation. A motion be in order to award the bid of the generator to Wayne Supply.
So move.
Second?
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Okay, next is permission to enter contract negotiations for the 911 equipment. Wendy, you want to come up?
I will. Carl has most of the papers for you here. As everybody knows, we've been replacing the PSAP. We've had some bids come in, and we've talked with the vendors. We had bids from AT&T, Windstream, and Windstream bid 2 different solutions, a Solacom Guardian and also Cassidian Patriot 4.x. It's a new version. We've seen demos of both of those. We let the employees participate in it since they are the ones that use them every day. And Mission Critical helped tremendously in going through these bids, and there was over 360 items that they done a check sheet if they met or didn't meet qualifications. So now that we've done that, we would like to enter contract negotiations and go ahead and start with our contract negotiations and the process from here. And that is a joint project with CSAP, so we wanted to do it through fiscal court, and then the board will get, the 911 board will get the same packet that you got today in their board meeting tomorrow.
And I want to say, there's been a little, not controversy, but some people that we make a lot of decisions for 911, and we've always done that, and of course, all the finances go through here, and we do all the insurance and things. But just like this, and I talked to Carl last week, I think we probably ought to let the 911 board start making a lot of these decisions. I mean, because it is made up of representatives from the three governments, and they are separate from the city of Richmond, city of Brea, or Madison County. So what I'd like to do, if you all are okay with this, is go on and allow them to start negotiations, but put in the minutes, Kenny, that that's contingent upon the approval of the 911 board. And then we'll work, I'm going to the meeting Wednesday, and we'll work with them more closely and let them get more involved. So, I don't want it to look like to the city's representatives that we're doing a majority of the workload with the board. I think the board needs to get involved a little bit more.
Any questions on the grading sheet? It's pretty self-explanatory. I didn't bring you the 20-some pages of each benchmark that we evaluated, but you can see 75% of the bid was based on their RFP compliance, and then 25% on the costing. So you can see how their points came out. And the strange thing of it is Windstream bid 2 solutions, which are both great ones. AT&T went through all that work and provided a bid, but no pricing on any of it. So you can't hardly deal with them if you submit a bid with no pricing in it after we open bids publicly. It's not fair to the other guys, so we had to basically throw AT&T's bid out. There was no pricing in anything, and they didn't comply with a bunch of the requirements, which one would provide pricing. So.
And then when negotiations are through, you all will come back to the 911 board and then also to us. Probably wouldn't hurt, Wendy, when you make a decision to, and the 911 board approves it, then maybe you want to go give a report to all three governments at one of their meetings. Okay?
We can do that.
Okay, no questions then. Motion to contingent upon 911 board's approval to go on and allow contract negotiations for this new radio equipment.
Now, when you say gives the board the opportunity to do that, I don't have a problem with that, but that doesn't mean setting a tax rate and all that for them. Okay, as long as we have control over that.
It will come back to the court for the final approval, right?
Yeah, I want to get all three governments more involved because we're all three represented on the 911 board, even though we do a lot of the workload.
So you want to go with Solacom?
Yeah, Solacom is the solution. It's $100,000 plus cheaper than the other solution. And that was the one that the telecommunicators that sat in the demos liked the best. It does the most things, and it's most forward-looking for phase 2 of the next generation of E911. So, I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer, honestly. I sat in both presentations, and I think I could use Solacom, and I'm not even trained. So I like the way it looked. And
It's
so
a
did
really
the
good system.
The second page here.
That's all the budget stuff, so you knew that we were staying within budget. There's an option page for different options, and we're going to do a couple of those options, and that's figured in the pricing that you've got there. And then the third sheet, which has just got 3 items on it, is the budget, so you knew that we were staying within the budget between CSEP and E911.
Good. Good.
I know this is a dumb question. What is the spares, 30,000? What is that?
It's switches and routers and, the special keypads and things like that. A monitor, a lot of this stuff is off the shelf, but some of it's tweaked. So instead of waiting to have one come in, get it fixed, what we'll do is we'll have hot spares on the shelf. So X breaks, you go grab one off the shelf, plug it in, and you're not down, in 911, so.
Well, you can't afford it, babe.
No, not with the call volume they
No.
handle.
I move we award the bid to Solacom.
Second.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes.
Is that the motion that you're seeking this morning?
Yes, well, for us to be able to enter contract negotiations, because we got to get a contract with them. We went through this before with a different vendor, and we couldn't come up with a contract because they really weren't very easy to work with. So we expect to award the bid to them, but we got to get through this contract negotiations phase first.
Larry, Would you mind, just for safety's sake, amending your motion just to such that we're awarding that bid depending upon the successful contract negotiations?
Add that to it, Kenny.
Thank you. Does that affect the second at all?
Roger, you all right with that motion?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wrote on it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Carl.
Not on the second to amend it, but you just asked was it okay? You
Okay,
didn't vote.
next is Sheriff's 2000.
Vote.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we have.
We voted on the first, but not the second.
Okay. Just want to make sure that the amendments are made.
Okay. Do you want to vote on the amended motion, Mark?
I think it's a good idea, just to make sure that we're
Okay.
complying with it.
Kenny, let's vote again on the amended motion. by
Master
Larry.
King,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes.
That way they can still negotiate if they need to on some of the contractual terms.
Next is the Sheriff's 2012 tax settlement, and this is order on June 25th, 2013, Mike Coyle, Sheriff of Madison County, presented before the Madison County Fiscal Court the tax settlements for the local collections of the county, county school, Berea School, ambulance, health, extension, library, and watershed. We need to, really, motion was made and approved. And all this is pending state audit, which will be done, and then we'll get copies of that audit. So, does anybody have any problems? It's the 2012 local tax settlement. It's for Jerry, our deceased Sheriff Jerry Combs. And I'm asking that you all approve it pending the audit.
So moved.
Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Next, we need to, by KRS, we need to appoint our new animal shelter coordinator. And he is in the house with us. And Keith, you want to bring James up?
Gentlemen, we're here for the passing of the reins. I've been the acting director for approximately 2 years. It's took us a little longer than we thought we would to get to this point. Evidently, I'm a little hard to work for because he's the only one that stayed. Everybody else has either resigned or quit or been fired. So he's put in the necessary work. He's got all the certificates necessary to do the job. He's worked as an animal control officer, so he knows the field work. He's been trained and still is being trained to do the state paperwork and the DEA paperwork, and he's doing a really good job, and I think we're in good hands. So I just thought I'd pass it on to him. And my 30-plus years is gone now. Thank you.
Okay, James, any words you'd like to say?
I would just hope that I can do half as good a job as Keith has done for the past 30 years. And I would love, all the support I can have for the first little while. It's going to be a little tough with the growing pains, but we'll make it.
Good deal. Well, Keith thinks you can handle the job, and you and I have met, and we've talked a long time about it. It's a tough job. It's really tough. A lot of people don't realize how tough it is. But we look forward to working with you and making it happen. And I told you, you can always call me. You always call Keith. Always call anybody you need to call. Any questions for James? We just
Welcome aboard.
Sir.
Okay, if not, motion would be in order to appoint James Lovell as the Madison County's Animal Shelter Coordinator.
So moved.
Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes.
Keith, thank you for your service.
Next on the agenda, it's emergency budget amendment, and we're trying to get this in, and, we did a couple of them before, and this is the increase in the jail fund by $23,621 and unbudgeted receipts that we need to get into reserve for transfer. We did several of these for the jail and the road a little earlier, but we need to get this in before the end of the fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes.
Judge, you skipped over Sherman
There you go.
Williams.
The
I'm
resolution.
getting ready to come to it. I had a little bit of talking. Next is resolution for Sherwin-Williams, and I need to explain this a little bit. Back in 2009, we did a resolution supporting Sherwin-Williams expansion. They were bringing in their seal coating from Michigan, and they were awarded $740,000 from the state incentive plan, creating 27 new jobs. Well, the House met, and that was under the Kentucky Economic Development Act. The House met in July of 2009 and changed the criteria and also changed the name of the Economic Development Act to the Kentucky Business Investment Act. Since then, Sherwin-Williams has added, they're up to 59 new jobs, and their incentive has been raised to $1.2 million from $740,000. So in this, they're ready, they've got everything in place, and they're ready to get signed up and get approved for their incentive package, and they need a resolution from the fiscal court, because Sherwin-Williams is located in the county, that we support. I'll read it real quick. We have a long-standing relationship with Sherwin-Williams Manufacturing, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court supports their efforts to enlarge the manufacturing plant and distribution center located on Boggs Lane. This new addition proposes to add 59 new jobs and add to the economic development of Madison County. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Madison County Fiscal Court go on record of their support of Sherwin-Williams in their application to participate in the Kentucky Business Investment Act. Great partner. About $175,000 a year in occupational tax. They're just, I go out occasionally and speak to them, but they're a good partner, and we want to support them any way we can. So I'd like the court's permission to approve Resolution 1303.
So moved.
Second.
Master King,
With honor, I'm glad to support them, yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Okay. We need approval to pay the year-end claims, the 2012, 2013. We always do this. We ask you to do it. That way, some stuff comes in and we can't get it in court's time for y'all to see it. But you will, any claim that comes in that we pay under this motion, you will get copies of that. So just as soon as the year-end comes up. And I need a motion to go on and approve the year-end claims.
So moved.
Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Judges report, just a few things. This year, our Battlefield Visitor Center is going to be open July 4th from 10 to 2. It's for people that are traveling through. People are out doing a lot of things during the holidays, and hopefully they can stop in. And also, CSEP is really hosting or sponsoring a blood drive July 2nd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Carl wanted me to ask that all employees, if you feel froggy, come on out and donate blood. And that's all I've got in the judge's report. We'll go on to comments from department heads. Anybody?
One thing to add to what you mentioned, Judge, the blood drive. They're trying to be more efficient for everybody's sake, theirs and ours alike. So if you would make an appointment, then they'll make sure there's a place ready for you and a person ready to take care of you when you get there. There'll be no waiting. So if you want to make an appointment, you can either do it online at the Kentucky Blood Center, or you can call 1-800-775-2522, and it's open to the public as well. It's a great cause, and you never know who you know and love that might need blood, and so it's a great cause, and you get your name thrown in a hat to win something. I don't know what they're giving away this time. A Toyota Prius. There you go. You'd be environmentally friendly. So stop by. I would love to see you guys, and like I said, the public's welcome as well. Try to do a couple of these a year, and it's a good cause. So thank you.
Any other department heads? Leroy?
I have the bids here on the gas and diesel. Riley Oil and Richmond Petroleum has got the bids on that. And And on the rocks, Allen Company. That's the only bid we had on the rocks, Allen Company. But I kinda looked at last year, it's still pretty much right on line with what we had last year.
No culvert bids?
No coverage at all. We sent them out, didn't get none back.
Well, it's just kind of, if we're on the south end, we buy them on the south end. If we're on the north end.
Well,
it's-
I looked at what the bids are and what we can just go buy them for, it ain't no difference. They ain't getting us no cut on. So we just go buy one or two at a time.
Right.
Okay, motion to accept Leroy's recommendation on the rock and the fuel and gas.
So moved.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Any other department heads? Sheriff? Kenny?
No, sir.
If not, we'll go into comments from magistrates. Greg?
I commend the road crew on cleaning up the side of the roads with the bush hog and keeping them trimmed back, and get a lot of good compliments about that, and appreciate them. Everything's running smooth. Appreciate all of our workers.
Thank you. Roger?
Probably most of you knows by now that the ferry's changed its hours. We're short on help, can't find help. Got to be a licensed Coast Guard captain to operate it, and we're down to 2. We'll be down to 1 after this weekend. The other one's leaving at the end of this week, so down to 1 captain. He's retiring in November. That's his plan anyway, so we've got to try to find some captains. We've been trying to find captains for 6 months when the first one left, and not any luck. I mean, it costs too much. They got to go to Memphis for a week, and there's no guarantee you're going to pass that test after you've spent $2,000 for being there for a week. So it's just a tough call to talk somebody into going for what price we can pay to keep a captain. The hours was decided on because of the workforce, not the pleasure traveler. And it's going to upset some people, especially on the weekends, because we're going to be completely closed Saturday and Sunday. But I felt like that, and the board as well, felt like that we need to accommodate the working people that's trying to pay the bills. And as long as they're paying the bills and got a job, there's more money out there for leisure. So that's the way we look at it. But we'll be closed totally on the weekends until we got 1 captain that's real close to getting his license, and he's willing to work part-time, which is the weekends, which we could open back up because of that. But right now, it's just 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And we're working 1 captain 12 hours a day, and that's about all he can handle. I mean, 2 of them's been working 60 hours each a week, and it's just wore them down. So we understand that we need the help. The other side of it is we met with Andy Barr yesterday at the ferry. We talked to him 2 weeks ago and kind of filled him in on what we needed from the Coast Guard. They've been dealing with the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard's not easy to deal with, as we all know. But I've tried to convince them that the Coast Guard just says, we got laws and regulations, and that's what you're going to play by. But we need to talk to the people that makes the laws over top the Coast Guard, and that's where Andy Barr is headed now with Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul and some of the others. After he seen the ferry yesterday and we explained to him the dyer's need, he's a little more serious about it, and that's what we needed. We needed him to meet with us and just show him, how simple a operation this ferry is really compared to what license you need to operate it. Because the simplest way to put it, and some of you's probably seen it, the same license that our captains needs is the same license that the man is using that drives the Staten Island ferry. It's the same license. There's no reason for that. As I've said before, if you can drive a farm tractor, you can run this ferry. But we can't let them because they got to have this top-notch license. But that's where we're at on the ferry. Only other thing I got, we've changed the getting our permits. I can't think of for your business license. We've changed it back to the treasurer's office. I've been down to the planning office 2 or 3 times, and 2 of the 3 times that I can remember, somebody's come in and they've had to send them to the treasurer's office. But
That's not the way it works, Roger. And Dwayne and I have met, and we've got things worked out.
they come to your office to pay for the business license?
They have been.
Okay.
They can, but they can also get them, and we've told the planning, they can issue the business license, put it in an envelope with the payment, and Glenn will pick it up on a daily basis.
They
Well,
can take the applications down there and give them the $10, and they just put the $10 with the application and bring it up here to us, because they
Okay.
can mail it in also.
Yeah, well-
So we don't, it's fine with us for them to leave the
Well,
applications down there.
the ones, when I was there, the ones come in, they was asking how to get to the treasurer's office. And of course, they can't, a lot of them says, well, and they'll say, well, has it got a sign on the building? No, it don't. We need a sign on the building.
Well,
telling
I'm-
us where
I'm
the
working on
treasurer-
that.
Okay.
I'll ask
That's-
you all.
That was the only issue I had, is because we do need a sign, not just for that purpose, but just to let people know where the treasurer's office is, you know. That's all I had.
Okay. Bill Ray?
Yeah, we got so many good department heads, and most of them's here today, but I really wanted to express recognition, appreciation to Keith Crawford, because, he's been faithful and probably the best animal control guy in the state, and really done a superb job, and you're going to be greatly missed. And I can tell you that speaking on behalf of all Madison County, we really appreciate your service down through the years. And you probably not be to another meeting, will you? He's got just about too big of a smile. I mean, he's smiling just a little bit too. You're not looking forward to this, are you? Well, anyway, I really recognize what a good job you've done, and I'm glad you got a good man to come in behind you and to grow in the position. And we just appreciate your service.
Thanks, Bill Ray. Larry?
All right, Judge, are we gonna donate any money to the city of Richmond and Brea on fireworks this year?
25. We donate 2,500.
2,500?
Okay, that was one thing. And then, I was reading this article on, these water meters. They either misquoted you or we're wrong, but we're not paying the labor on that. Water company's paying that, is that correct?
Yeah, we're not paying
Well,
anything.
it quoted the county would do it. I said, oh gosh, leave it covered up the way it is.
No, all that was an agreement that we came up with. If the city would buy all the materials, then the district would install them.
I'm all for it, and I wish we could put not only 5 a year, but 20 a year, because look what a savings, that's probably about, what, 10%?
Oh, it's 40 to 50%. You go from a 9 to a 3.
And the subdivisions you named, I mean, they're cluttered, they need it. But also, you can't put one in if you don't have,
That's exactly right. You gotta have the fire flow. So it's few and far between, but, it's a great program to look at. It's like in one area, 4 fire hydrants reduced 1,400 property owners' insurance, about 40%. So, that's great, and I just commend the city of Brea and the Southern Madison utilities for, working things up like that.
see, that could have been your area, but you wouldn't take it. So I guess I'll just have to accept it. I don't have anything else.
Okay, anybody in the audience? If not, a motion, next court date will be July 9th in Berea, if you want to make a note on that. And a motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Motion to adjourn. Thanks, everybody, for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Yes.